Good morning, all you fine ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of something to think about here. I don't know if I'm going to be presenting like solid evidence about what I'm about to say, but I think I'm going to have a compelling argument. Maybe not a convincing argument, but a compelling argument. You know what else is compelling? Amazon coins. I know, right? If you haven't heard it before, you get to hear it for the first time. They're awesome. No, I'm actually, I really sincerely mean that. And check the description in the link below. 20% discounts, 25% if you use the link. I don't get commissioned. You don't have to, even if you're a hater, you can use the link safely and not worry about me profiting from you. No, all jokes aside, no, seriously, it's great stuff. Just go use it. Um, Today we're going to be talking about T10 shooters suck, right? And I'm going to show you, like literally, how T9 shooters can kill T10 shooters. It's real. It happened. And I'm going to show you proof of that. We're going to talk about how it happened first, though. So, how it happened is very simple. If you look at the defense of a T10 Plus, this is an enhanced version, T10 Plus shooter, you're going to see that it's 55 defense, 17 health. Okay, let's remember that number. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Can a T9 shooter kill a T9 carrier? Your answer is almost certainly going to be an obvious yes, of course it can. So let's look at a T9 carrier's defense. 51, this is a T9 carrier enhanced. Okay, 51 and 18. That is just a little bit below what a T10 enhanced defense is and a little bit more health. So more health, less defense. So logically, right? Logically, if you can kill a T9 enhanced carrier, you can kill a T10 shooter, right? Like the amount of death ratio is probably not going to be too far off. Even the base T10s is 51 compared to 51. So a T10 shooter has about the same defense as a T9 carrier. Not that great. Now, you'd say, okay, well, if this is what's going on here, how does this make any sense at all? And the answer is it doesn't really, because the theory is that when you're running shooters, you're going to be putting down so much damage so quickly that you out damage your enemy. You just like smash them real quick. You're done in 3 or 4 rounds. That's it, right? Like if you're going 8 rounds as a shooter, you have problems. So this is kind of the principle and the idea behind it. Glass cannon. Get in there, hit hard, get out. Now, when this breaks down is that shooters are basically trash now. There's no good shooter melee ant, so you can't run SSS. Just forget it. It's junk. MR was great at before. They've shadow nerfed it. Panda was great before. They shadow nerfed it. Predator was never good, so just throw that out the window. And running something other than a melee ant in the front, it's kind of a band-aid to the solution. It caters more towards just getting damage down quickly and silencing people rather than kind of a true defensive front for shooters. So yeah, there's an obvious gap there. They've never done it. When they did do it, they realized, oh shit, this is too powerful, and they nerfed it. This is what happens every time. It's annoying. It makes it so that I don't want to play shooters. Like seriously, I feel like rushing T10 carriers and switching over, but the game makes me over on like carrier ant shells, so I can't. I'm just kind of like screwed. Whatever. Woe is me. Now, seeing that the defense of them is the same, right? So you have to think to yourself, okay, if the defense is basically the same between the two of them, right? Like, but the damage isn't. The damage on this is 136 versus 96. Shouldn't even be in the same ballpark, right? Like it's what, almost a 50% more difference, but yet that doesn't actually translate when you start looking at how the game mechanics work. Let's touch on that in a minute here. Let's before we get into that, let's show this actual battle report so you guys don't think that I'm just like making this stuff up about like, yeah, just nonsensical stuff. Okay, okay, you're gonna see me doing revenge reports against Robot, and this is all testing, right? Not like I could beat him, but um, I'm just testing various things. So we're gonna cover that in a different episode. But for now, we're gonna look at this nonsensical bullshit. Just fudging bullshit. Um, T10, 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 legit. T9, T9, T9. This is Crystal Mines. Crystal Mines is not 100%. It's not 100% like, PvP battle, but it's about as close as we can get for some, reasonable comparison. I think what isn't applying here is combat speed. I think that the person who hits first goes first in mines, and I think that that's the end result of how this happened. But it also could just be he got lucky, and it also plays a role in that, well, shooters just suck. And the difference between T9 shooters and T10 shooters, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a difference there, but they still suck. So let's Batman decode this. You'll see that based on stats, it doesn't make any sense. Just it doesn't. There's nothing logical about, like, you look at the stats and you look at who won, you look at T10 versus T9. There's absolutely nothing logical about this. But I stepped back for a second and said, okay, so how does this happen? How did the game devs make some stupid mistake where this is a reality? And it goes back to the defense. Just T9 shooters can kill T9 carriers, and if they can, I'm in the same boat as any carrier player, any T9 carrier, essentially, from a defensive perspective. So it works. It makes sense from that perspective. It doesn't make sense from a perspective of, like, T10 shooters are just fucking trash, right? Like, what moron decided that this is the game balance that they wanted? I don't know, but they did. So this is what we're living in. First world problems. Okay, back on track. So, yeah, like, it's a reality. Just live with it. And all the shooter melee is just, I'm just dumbfounded. There's nothing to put in front that's a shooter that is going to actually provide a good frontline defense. It just doesn't exist. You could argue Giant Tooth, you could argue Dusky, you could argue maybe an 8-star Panda. You could potentially argue all these things, but I tell you what, and I'm so ready to test it, but I don't want to spend the thousands of dollars wasting money doing it. That it probably just won't be like you expect. Like, the numbers that they put on the profiles, they don't actually match reality. Because let's look at Panda just for a second here. Come on, Panda, where are you? Okay, so Panda's skill tops out at level 8, an 8-star, when they're only shooters in 3 squads from the first round, increase the combat damage of 2 random squads by 120%. Right? The combat skill damage is chonky. That is really, that's 60% on that is chonky. That's what it is now, right? And 120% on it would be just, like, stupid. Let's go back to that battle report. I'm going to show you, just because you may not be understanding the perspective on this for a second here. So go back to this, and I'll show you. So this is that number, right? Like, that number right there, that 131, that would be boosting it to 191 or 250. Just putting that in perspective, that is right there. That's the combat skill base percentage. So you're looking at almost a doubling of that. And most of your damage comes from, guess what? Combat skill damage. That's really what it is. That lady right there with 141k kills came from combat skill damage. Most of it didn't come from troop kills, because look, you see down there it was 68k, and then on Reap it was 17k, and then MR is just total trash. It got 0 kills basically, except for there was some combat skills. Anyway, so you see that this is basically most of the damage is coming from combat skills. So if you doubled it, you'd think that would just be like monstrous. And if you even added 60% to it, like 50% increase, right? Like it's substantial. But I bet you that we're gonna try something here, right? Just for kicks and giggles. Let me get my bearings. Here, intermind. I don't think I've done a revenge on it, so that we've saved this for the video. If I have, I apologize. I'm wasting your time. Nope, here we go. So here's the deal. I've been testing various stuff. More videos on this coming soon. I've been testing various stuff, and let's go ahead and drop him in the front. Put this up there, okay? And then we're gonna run with Reap. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be apples and apples-ish compared to what it was before. I'm probably gonna win because I think that the T9 winning thing was an outliner as well as him hitting first. But we're gonna see what happens. Okay. Now let's look at the battle report. We're not going to be able to see the hidden bonus there in terms of skill damage, but we can see. Go away. But we can see some interesting stuff, and that Panda basically got no kills, right? Like that to me right there just says that Panda, even if we 8-starred him and made him maxed out, it's not a good investment. 10 skills and no kills, no, that's not giving me this any level of confidence that it's going to be worth anything. Nope. So I've kind of ruled out Panda. Like on paper, he seems okay. Even Awakened level 20, he seems okay. On paper, all this sounds okay, but the reality is, I'm not convinced. I think it's trash. And you see that the skill damage of what's actually happening here is more reflective of T10s hitting T9s first rather than skills. So it's like what Panda is just false advertising. I'm not buying into it. He used to be great. He's not anymore. Yeah. In MR, like look at this. 0 skills, 0 kills, 0 heals, nothing. Like absolute trash. Like throw that in the bin. Yeah. I'm just not seeing anything here that shows me that an SSS or a pure shooter route is viable. It's just not. They've completely screwed it up. You have to almost run GSS. It's basically it. You just have to. That's it. Just forget it. And I think I'm at the point where I don't really want to run GSS because I've almost unlocked T10 carriers. I'm just going to switch over to carriers and just say duck it. So yeah. I guess this is turning into a little bit of a rant video. But yeah, the only way that we're going to get this fixed is spending strike. If you're not using Amazon coins, stop spending. It's just that simple. I mean, why? Spend for what? Or don't buy shooters. I guess those are the two options. We either stop spending, the shooter people are just like basically up in arms, go to your VIP support and say, look, what the is going on here? Or we just boost something else. Guardian is definitely viable. Compulsor is that, Carrier is definitely viable. Golden Crystal is amazing. Kills everything. So yeah, that's basically the point. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Hopefully it kind of puts some things in perspective in terms of like what to expect. Because when you're new to the game and you're picking like, what do I pick? What do I upgrade? Well, I mean, for PvE and killing Groundhog, it looks good on paper. But for actual results, shooters suck. I mean, I don't think I would have went back and done shooters again. I think I would have toughed it out and went carriers or guardians. Probably guardians. I mean, the game screws you around less with guardians. I mean, they'll at least give you ants. So, yeah. I don't know. That's just my perspective at this point. So they either need to fix it or give us a new ant or something. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, just my perspective. And hopefully it's backed up by some reasonable evidence. Maybe. Anyway, love you guys. That's it. Bye-bye for now.